I'm going live. I know it's a little early. If you're in right now, share this on your social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, whatever it may be. Got a lot of things to talk about to you guys tonight. But so just stand by. Stand by. I'll get this content train rolling here in just a few seconds. Oh my god, I'm kind of nervous. Lemmy is in the chat room tonight. Holy crap. What up, Franklin? T-Bone. So, yeah, a lot of big things happening today. It sucks to have car work done on an old vehicle. I don't know. Is vehicle a southern thing? Do people up north say vehicle, or do they say automobile or car, truck? I always say vehicle, and it always sounds. Thank you, Andy. It always sounds weird. Like I think people are laughing on the inside when I say vehicle. If you're in here right now, give me a thumbs up. I know that I've been hitting that a little too much. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but like right below the screen, car, yeah. What kind of car are you driving? I mean, listen, like I said, give me a thumbs up if you're in here, and if you're online, let's get some people in here. Let's have some fun tonight, people. Because I had to have a lot of work done on the old beat up 2006 PT Cruiser. You know, luckily I've been saving up money from this podcast. You guys know that I've been going around thrifting, picking up stuff that is need gone on Craigslist and turning around and selling it for a profit. So, yeah, I had some money saved up. So, I had that work done a couple of days ago, and the check engine light came on again. I was like, holy crap. So, I took it back to the mechanics, and they were really, really cool about it. I didn't know this, but I guess the cars, I guess you have to do like a hard reset on it. I have a truck and I usually work on my own shit to save money. I'm pretty handy. Well, Andy, I mean, if you're nearby, I'll start using you. I'll pay you. But my guy Dennis over in Tampa, he was the one that repaired the bushings. I think that's how you say it. Because if you listen to the Bubble Love Sponge show for a while, hold on, one staple in life, got to find a good mechanic you can trust, bring all your cars to. Oh, we've had that. Look, we've been using one of the, look, this is going to tie into one of my later topics that I want to talk about. I try to always support small business. I always tried to support the mom and pop places, but for some reason, the mom and pop stores seem a little bit more expensive than some of the other places. Like, I'm going to do some night fishing tonight, and I'm going to record it. Because every time I go live, when I try to do fishing, I never catch a goddamn thing. So, I'm going to record it. I'm going to edit the video down and stuff. And I think you guys will like that because the edited video that I did the other day, if you didn't check it out on my YouTube page, the video of me and Colton working together, that was very, very popular because the work is done correctly and don't need to take back the cars. No, I agree with you, but I mean, the guy said, listen, If you have any more problems, bring it back. I will take care of it for free, which I don't know. I mean, he could have just been telling me what I wanted to hear. But I ended up going to the local hardware store where I get all my bait and tackle at. And they had everything. But how are you going to have a bait and tackle store when you do not have spinner baits? I have always had great luck, and I know a lot of you guys might not be into fishing, but using the DOA shrimps, which are the artificial shrimps, and then I'd like to put a spinner bait on it because out by the seawall, there's that light, and I like to throw it right on the shadow. What up, Cornelian Orleans? But so that light shines out into the water, and then I like to throw it right to the shadow, and then when I pull that artificial right into the light, for some reason, once that light hits that little shiny spinner bait there, I've been catching a lot of trout, a lot of snook. I caught one of the biggest mangrove snappers I've ever caught off of that setup, but they did not have spinnerbait. And one of the main reasons why I'm wanting to fish, a lot of you guys don't know this. I am a surgeon when it comes to cleaning fish. And I cleaned out my mom and dad's shed, and I ended up finding this. Now, it's not the best fillet knife because it was a little rusted. It was a little rusted, and I am having to. I had to clean it up because it was a little rusty, had some chips in it, and by chips, like little uneven grooves on the blade. But if you look at how. I mean, it's still a little rough, but I'm working on it. But I've gotten most of the rust and stuff off of it, and you know, a lot of people don't realize this. When you're cleaning a fish, I grilled a tuna steak for Granny Loves Anal the other night. It was all right for the first time cooking tuna. Let me. How do you like to cook your tuna? Because a lot of people overcook tuna. I mean, I maybe high heat, minute and a half on each side. You gotta, I don't mean to sound all the guys love the pink in the middle. You gotta have a little bit of a pink in the middle when it comes to your tuna. So I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna try to catch some fish. But now I discussed this with my producer Vulture. Do you guys think that I would get heat with PETA, or it would get me in trouble if I did a video showing people how to clean fish? I would like to hear from you. Let me know in the chat room. And if you don't want to message or comment on here, you can leave me a email, tuddle@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. Would you guys want to watch a video of me teaching you how to clean fish? Or is it not worth it? There's a chick. Yeah, I mean, see, my producer is always looking out for me, but the radio guy in me, I was like, oh yeah, I want the heat. I want PETA's attention. Listen, I don't want you to think that I don't love animals, but I, dude, you could not buy a promotion if PETA came after me for doing a video. Oh, dude, I always obey the limits when it comes to that stuff. There are a couple of people in the park though, and you know what? I'm not even gonna say it because they're nice people, but they are going to get busted because they keep every single fish that they catch. I don't give a fuck. But they keep every single fish. I saw them catch a big ass red, and I think they kept it. I'm almost absolutely sure that they kept it. That was oversized. And if a lot of you people don't know, the Florida Wildlife Commission, the game warden, they will seize your boat. They will take everything if they catch you doing stuff like that. And listen, I'm no snitch. The only way that I would keep fish that were undersized or oversized is if things got really bad in America. And no, I don't think Peter would be upset. Be helping the other people learn. FWC don't fuck around. No, they do not. Yeah. Hey, Miss YQS, I'll talk to you when I get done with this live stream. But if you're in the chat room right now, share this. Share this. Give me a thumbs up if you're in the chat room right now, if you could, because it does help out with the algorithm. Do not give me a thumbs up emoji. A lot of you guys like to do that. But, like this video. And if you haven't done it already, hit that bell button. I knew a lady that went fishing with a bunch of guys and came back with a big red snapper. Yeah, Ray B, I love the joke. Yeah. So what I'm trying. Oh, and also, all right, I'll tell you this. Now I don't know if this is a cultural thing. The people that I'm talking about that keep everything. The dude's wife is Asian. And I'm not trying to stereotype, but I mean, they're keeping everything. I mean, we're talking, where, never mind. I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to get in trouble. But where the coronavirus came from? Yeah, that country. The ones that have the wet markets and stuff like that. But they keep everything. I mean, I think they even keep some of the puffer fish. It's like everything. It's like open season on every single fish. So one of the main reasons that I want to fish tonight is because I found a good fillet knife that I've been working on all day, and I got a good blade. Now, let me ask you, does it make me a pussy that I use one of these as a sharpener? Because I've never been good at sharpening a knife on a flat stone. Now, my dad's really, really good at that. Does it make me a pussy that I use this little device? And it says right here, do not use unless you have this guard on it. Because I got to tell you right now, this knife, oh man, it would definitely mess up my day. And, my dad always used to tell me he'd rather be cut by a sharp knife than a dull knife. Could I fillet a bat? But, this is because I can see him flying around. Is Florida the only place that has no-see-ums? Do any of you people even know what no-see-ums are? Because, listen, I can handle mosquitoes better than I can the goddamn no-see-ums. Is no-see-ums only a Florida thing? Cut a few fingers off, not using the guard. Yeah, no, trust me. It says right there, do not use this if you don't use the guard. So, hey, Miss YQS, you are a you know law enforcement stuff. Would I get in trouble if I had this in my car? I've heard rumors that it's illegal to have a blade over 6 inches on you. Is that true or false? I don't know if that's like some urban legend or something. My producer Vulture gave me this like a little, like, not little, but it's a pretty big size, like, samurai sword type thing. And he was like, make sure you take that out of your car because that thing's over 6 inches. And yes, I know it's not the smartest thing to do. I did, you know, put my penis next to the knife just to check because well, I'm not saying just 6. I'm above average. Who knows? Here is illegal over 4, I believe. Okay. Right now, this is the Tuddle Daily podcast live stream. But on the no-see-em thing, I guess none of you guys know what I'm talking about when I say no-see-ems. No-see-ems are those little gnats. Those gnats, and the reason they call them no-see-ems is because you can't see them. I mean, not unless you're in the light, you can see them flying around and stuff, but they're annoying as fuck. Like I said, I can deal with the mosquitoes because I've been putting on bug spray all day long, and it's just like the no-see-ems, they just swarm on you because the wind has died down here. The no-see-ems, they do not bother me or bother anybody, living right here on the coast. Oh, and that's the other thing about living near the saltwater. You know how I said I had to clean up this knife because it was rusted? All right, no-see-ems are everywhere. Okay, cool. I just thought, because Florida has a lot of stuff. I used to drive with a 10-inch chef knife once a week. So you keep it in the trunk then. All right, I got that. Are you the butterfly knives? Is that the one like people would do tricks with? The butterfly knives, that you would see martial artists use. Because if you could back in the day in the 90s, especially with the Gen Xers, if you could do like the butterfly knife tricks, you were a badass. Like you definitely got run in the group if you could do tricks with a butterfly knife. But I can only imagine. See, the reason I never ever tried, I'm sure people have to have injured themselves using one of those butterfly knives trying to do tricks. And that yeah, like nunchucks as well too. Everybody has hit themselves or hurt themselves with nunchucks. What about that game, where you put your hand? Have you ever seen that video of that girl that does that knife game? I think the first time I saw it, I think it was in the movie Aliens. Like where you take it and you do it in between the fingers and stuff. And this bitch was singing the whole time while she was doing it, and she like just stabbed herself right in the knuckle. I think it was in the middle finger, and she freaked out. I don't even understand why people would even do stuff like that. But back to the knife thing. Living near the water, the salt water, my dad, he has that golf cart. And every day I wash that thing. Every time a piece of rust shows up, I sand it down, I repaint it, but it does no good. The salt water absolutely destroys everything around here. See, that's another no-see-em. And you couldn't even see him, but I could see him. But yeah, it's like everything goes to shit because of the salt water around here. So that is like the one bad thing about living near salt water. It sucks. Oh, I wanted to give you a rodent update. If you watched yesterday's live stream, I have to call an audible on this because, like if you've done any hunting in your life, you look for those trails. You look for the worn out ground where the prey always travels. And I thought I had it set up. The Reese's peanut butter cups do work, but I, like the movie Jaws, that quote, I think we're going to need a bigger boat. I'm going to need bigger traps because I had 3 big traps. Now, you know that I've done a lot of stunts with the mouse traps and stuff. And yeah, it doesn't feel good when you get snapped by them, but some of these rap tracks, these traps, they they are so spring loaded. They are so tight. I swear to God, it would break your fingers if you ended up. And I'm just always scared. But the 2 traps that went off, the Reese's peanut butter cups were gone, and the traps had been set off. So what that's telling me, whatever it is too big. Or he's like the Houdini of rodents, because the trap did go off, but I didn't have anything. Maybe I wounded him. The final throwdown, yeah, dude. It's just like, I don't know, man. I just want to get rid of them. You know, we haven't had this problem. Thank you, Michelle. We have not had this problem since our cat died. My mom and dad had a cat for like 18 years. And even when she got older, she would still chase things down. But I also think the rodents, the mice, the rats, they can sense those cats when they're around, and they don't even step up. They don't even try it. And, you know, like we used to have a neighbor down here. He called me on the phone. He was afraid of snakes. You have to use a tiny bit. They have to work for it. Yeah, no, dude. I had the mini Reese's, or not the Reese's peanut butter cups, and I took them in quarters. I only put a quarter of one of the minis on there. I've been through this at my last job. They know how to get off without getting hurt. You have to kind of get them. See, and also the glue traps. The glue traps are absolute bullshit because I had 3 of those things set up, and I guess the rodents have adapted. No, I'm not using poison because when we lived in the double wide in DeLeon Springs, we used time. And if you live in summer or in Florida in the summer, the last thing that you want is a rodent, a dead rodent in your walls underneath your trailer, baking and rotting in the summer heat. My head fast enough, the knife went in my earlobe and then my neck messaged me up. So what I'm trying to say is, what do I need to do? Do I need to go about this in a different way? Like, do I need to try something different? Because when I went to bed, I had the spatula, I had the metal spatula, and I had the knife. I had this knife. I was like, I'm going to stun him with the spatula, and I'm going to finish him off with the knife. But once again, is PETA going to give me heat because I cameraed up everything? I really did, because I think that would be great content of me chasing around a rat with a spatula and a knife, fighting to the battle. By the way, did any of you guys, I'm a big movie buff guy. Did any of you guys see the movie back in the day, Willard? I think they did a, yeah, hand-to-hand combat. I think they did a remake with the guy that was in Back to the Future, the guy that played the dad, the weird guy. What the fuck is his name? He was also in the Charlie's Angel movie. He was the one that like took a hair or whatever. I saw Ratatouille and booty juice. Yeah, see, hey, that shows me that you've been following me across all platforms. Once again, I want to thank Bubba the Love Sponge and Brent Hatley for having me on their show last Tuesday because my numbers have been amazing. Have you guys well, I mean you guys that are watching it right now, I'm sure I've been getting a lot of great feedback from the people using the audio from the live streams because like a lot of people don't get a chance. Yeah, it definitely Bubba Rub. I gotta admit it. Bubba used to talk about the Bubba Rub all the time, and I was like, oh, that's just Bubba. That's Bubba just trying to show off. But it is true. It is really really true. The Bubba Rub, and I got to tell you, I have don't sleep on Brent Hatley as well either. I picked up a lot of Brent Hatley marks as well too, and I'm not calling you guys marks. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. If you're just tuning in right now, thank you, Philip Anthony. See, Philip, I played it smart. See, there were so many times during that show that the old Tuddle could have came out. The old Tuddle could have been a counter programmer. The old Tuddle just could have been a dick, and I didn't. I think that shows that I've changed. I'm not trying to S my own D on things, but I have changed. I think I have. It really put me in a tough spot with the Soul Brother Kevin talk. And I could, there were so many things that I wanted to say. But I didn't. Like, I self-edited. So, like I said, all right, here, let me ask you, okay? And then, once again, I'd like to hear from you. I love feedback. I've told you I'm not one of those hosts that thinks they know everything. I want to hear from the listeners. You can do it here in the chat room, or you can leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. You can email me, tuddle@gmail.com. Now, I've talked to both of these people. Would you guys be down? Because Bubba did want me to start doing some content once a month for the podcast. Michael, I thought I did. Michael, can you... I accepted a lot of friends last night on Facebook. Can you, message me on Facebook? So I'd just be like, hey, asshole, accept my friend request, and I'll do it. I promise you I will. But I want to get your feedback, because I have talked to... thank you, Jason Martin. I've talked to both people, and they're down for it. But once again, tuddle@gmail.com, or leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. Would you guys be interested in a Tuddle? I hate talking about myself in the third person, but a Tuddle, Colton, Lummy show. Get the band back together. What up, Jack Enrod? Is that something you guys would even be interested in? No, listen, I look, I'm going to do my own thing, but I always thought that myself Colton and Lummox, and Colton is down for it. Is that something that you guys would definitely be interested in? Myself, Colton, and Lummox once a month, because we're all in for it. Now, Honda Boy 2, I'm glad the sober Tuddle is here. Keep it up. Thank you, man. I mean, that means a lot. It really does. That does. So, like, I mean, if that's something you guys want to hear, now don't be dicks. Don't say that, oh, Tuddle's demanding it. But if you want to email the show, the Bubble Love Sponge show at the BRN, email show@btls.com and just let them know. Now, well, that's not happening. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Trace or B5, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I would love to do that. I think that would be a great lineup because, you know, say what you want, like that incarnation, I don't even know if that's the right word. So many people on that after show right after Bubble Love Sponge, it was like a revolving door. At first it was myself, Colton, and Trace. And then Trace left. Well, no, Lummox actually was on the show. So there were 4 people there. Then Lummox got in trouble for saying the F word for gays on the air, and he went away for like a couple of months. Then he came back. Then Trace, got fired. And then it was just myself, Colton, and Lummox. And I thought that, after a while, our chemistry got really, really good. If you're just tuning in right now, this is the Tuddle Daily Podcast live stream. Make sure you check out my podcast. It's available. Just search the Tuddle Daily Podcast. It's available on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, TuneIn Radio app, 315live.com. So, like, I know that I've been going overboard on all the different platforms, but this is what I have had to do. This is what I've had to do. I just got done watching the movie Nomadland with Frances McDormand. I don't know if you know who she is. But I've also really have always thought of myself as like a radio nomad because I have been on a lot of different shows. Thank you, Lemmy. But and people, you and Cole, no Lemmy, no Trace, hell no B-Fud. Going on your path is a better way to go. Okay. But, a lot of people want to bust my balls all the time about, oh, you've been fired. You have, you're like radio poison. You've been fired from every radio show you've worked on. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Have you ever heard Bubba talk about how many radio stations he's worked at? I mean, it's just the nature of the business. And I've had some pretty good runs. The longest continuous job that I have had was at Real Radio. I started working there at 2000 all the way until 2010. I was there for 10 years. That is an eternity in radio. It just is. But then, I went on a bad streak. I bounced around from place to place from 2010 to 2020. So, yeah, I've been fired. But, I mean, You haven't made it in radio until you have been fired from some radio stations. It's just the way that it is. That's the way the business works. So any of you guys that want to bust my balls about being fired, you know what? I'm sure you've been fired from plenty of places. This hernia thing has been really bothering me. The last time I was at the it's not that bad. This is the thing about not insurance. You can't go to the emergency room to get something fixed until you're in dire need. And it's not painful. It's just uncomfortable. But I feel like it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's right in my groin area on the left side. And if any of you guys have had a hernia, it's funny. After my divorce in 2014 until I became sober, when I was not taking care of myself, when I was taking every substance that anybody would offer me, I know I set myself up because when I said substances, but like drugs and alcohol, and I wasn't working out, I didn't have all these injuries. And now that I've been working out and stuff, it's like, holy crap. I mean, right now, like I said, I'm physically, this is the best that I have ever been in my life. But this hernia thing, man, I've been reading. It's not something to play around with from what I've heard. It really isn't. Because it's basically, from what I know, it's your intestines poking through your abdominal wall. And then sometimes it can be restricted or constricted, not restricted, constricted, and it can become problems. And I don't want to be that dude that gets taken out by a hernia, because I just think that would be a bad way to go, to die from a hernia because my intestines burst open and I become septic. Yeah. That's not a good way to go. I mean, no way. Anyway is no way to go. But dying of something very, very simple like that, in the greatest country in the world, the only superpower. Well, I mean, China is getting close to being a superpower, but like, I don't have insurance. So, like, I'd like to hear from you. Like, what are my options? What are my options? What can I do? Do I need to go to, like, Mexico? Do I need to go to Canada to get some, like, third world? Well, I know Canada's not a third world country, but what I'm trying to say is, do I got to go to, like, a South American country and be like, yo, fix my hernia? And it's not that bad, but like, I've already got a scar on my right side when I had the appendix taken out. Is a hernia surgery pretty simple now? I don't know. Yeah, but T-Bone, unless you are in dire situation, the ER is going to tell you to go pound sand. It is. They will. Like, seriously, I'm to the point where use that knife. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I mean, I don't know. I just don't want it to get so bad because I worked so hard to get in shape. Like, I talked about wanting to do a triathlon, And I don't even think I can do that now. I mean, I try not to overdo it. I don't know. I don't know. I talked a little bit about this on today's podcast. And I wanted to get your guys' opinion. You know, 2020 was the year of hating law enforcement officers. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you shouldn't paint with a broad brush. There are bad apples in the group every single where. So I'm not denying that there are not bad cops that abuse their power, but I don't know if you guys know anything about the mass shooting that happened in Boulder, Colorado, where the white cop, and it shouldn't even matter that it was a white cop, but in this country, we are so divided right now that that's just the way that it is. But this cop, this law enforcement officer, ran in to that grocery store and gave up his life. And he sacrificed his life to save people. And you know what? He didn't give a damn who was in that store, if they were black, if they were white, if they were Hispanic, if they were Asian, Arab. And that dude died. He was a father of 7. And just because that guy, you know, and I'll get to this, and I'm not trying to like bring the whole thing down. I forgot to mention the Pacific Islanders. All right, the Filipino. Is that how you say it? So what I'm trying to say is, you know, everybody wanted to like group every single cop as being bad, but that guy did not hesitate. He was the first on the scene, and he ended up getting killed, leaving behind a wife and 7 kids. 7 kids is a lot, man. 7 kids. I mean, I listen. I know I'm gonna. He must have been Catholic or Irish Catholic, because like who has 7 kids, and how do you afford to have 7 kids on a police salary? And listen, I'm not trying to make fun of the situation. And the last thing I want to talk about, okay? I know a lot of people, think, oh, Tuddle's a libtard. He's a liberal. No, look, hey, I completely support the Second Amendment. The guns are not the problem. The problem here in the United States with all the mass shootings that we have is because we do not give a fuck about mental health. Like, mental health is a joke in our country. And I've seen it firsthand in my own personal fucking life. You know that I spent 10 days in a psychiatric ward, and you would think that they would want to help you. You think that they would try to get you fixed. Good luck on that. You want to know what their answer was? They wanted to throw more pills down my throat. Like, before I went in, I was on 3 medications that were mood stabilizing drugs. When I was in there, I was taking 9 a day. I was taking 9 pills a day. They were giving me the booty juice, which is an injection of something. I don't even know what the fuck it is. And then when you got to see the doctor every single day, you would think that you would get a little bit of time. Nope, it's like a cattle call. It is. They line you up. You walk in. Doctor, talks to you for just a little bit. And you get like, if you're lucky, we are good at sending taxpayer money to nations that have healthcare and higher education. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But you would get in there, and if you got 3 minutes with the doctor in there, you were lucky. You were lucky. You know what their job was in the mental institution, the psychiatric ward that I was? They only cared about you not hurting yourself. So, what I'm trying to say is that it's not about, I mean, okay, there has to be some restrictions when it comes to guns, but you're not, good luck trying to get people's guns. It's just not going to happen. It's just, like there have been all the riots right now in London because, they're giving more power to the police. The police in London, the police in the United Kingdom get to carry guns. Guess who doesn't get to carry guns? The citizens. That's just the way that it is. And the guns are not the problem. It's the mental health. Because for somebody to go into a store and kill almost, I think it's 10 or 11 people, you have to be mentally ill. Now, there are cases where people are just evil. People want to be that prolific serial, like mass shooter. There are people there that just want that. They want the attention. But, I mean, you could also consider that mental illness. So, what I'm trying to say is it going to do away with all the gun violence? No, it's not. Would it help if we worked better and took mental illness seriously? Yes, I think that it would. I really, really do. And I didn't mean to get all serious and depressing and political and preaching. What up, JR? Yeah, I didn't want to use that guns don't kill people thing. People kill people. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It makes sense. But I don't know. Am I right or am I wrong? Or am I way off basis on this, people? I would love to hear from you because I'm about to get off this thing because I'm gonna do some fishing. I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna edit it tonight and try to get it out to you tomorrow. I pretty much already have tomorrow's show done. Me and Ciroc got to interview a local comedian from Tampa. And at one point during the interview, me and Ciroc were just talking to each other for like 7 minutes, and I forgot. I was like, fuck, we got a guest on the line. We had to go back to him. So I'm sure the guy didn't appreciate that. But, like, I would love to, like, get your opinion on my take about the gun violence and the mass shootings. I would like to hear from you. I'd like to hear what you think the solution is. Because I think if we pay more attention to mental illness, like I said, it's not going to go away. It's never going to go away. Because there's just going to be assholes out there, like I said, that just want to be famous, to be known as the guy to get the most kills during a mass shooting. But I really do think if we paid more attention to mental illness, trying to fix the problem, instead of having big pharmaceutical throw pills down people's throats, we would be way better off, and it would cut down a lot. You can email me, Tuddle@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. Make sure, wait, hold on, let me allow American people to hold the Second Amendment and open carry without jumping through hoops. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I mean, listen, that's the thing about politics. That's why I kind of don't like talking about it. It's kind of glad why I can't take phone calls. Because you can't debate people sometimes on these situations because their mind is already made up. So I would like to hear from you. Like I said, I play all voicemails. I read all emails. And if you think I'm off basis and you think I'm an idiot, please tell me. Please tell me if you think I am way off basis on my take. On tomorrow's show, I got that interview. I don't know if there was really a good way to stop all shit. No, it's never going to go away. You know, a lot of people forget about this. You know, humans are animals. We're nothing but animals. Guess what? There's a lot of animals out there that just kill for fun. They just do it. That's what we do. I don't know if it's ingrained into our DNA just to be violent people. Because does it go back to our animalistic behavior? Could be. Who knows? I listen. I don't have an answer. It's just my opinion, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Make sure you subscribe to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Tell your friends, family, loved ones. You know, you can help me out financially if you want to donate anything, even if it's $1. I know a lot of people are going through a hard time. Go to my PayPal account, paypal.me/Tuddle on the radio. That's paypal.me/Tuddle on the radio. But the best way that you can do, because I've told you, all the content that I have ever done online has been, thank you, JR. I'll have a good video out tomorrow about my fishing. But, you know, I know people are going through a hard time. But this show has grown because of word of mouth. I don't have a terrestrial radio format to be able to promote what I'm doing. That's why I call you guys my supporters, because it's all because of you guys helping me grow this show. So, hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm going to go out here and try to catch some and rip some lips on some fish. And I hope you guys have a great night. I love everybody. Good night.